because I had saw the question. Somebody said, "At what point does a man become the leader?" And so I guess that could be answered from both sides. I guess you guys would have a better idea from the guy's perspective, but I was curious for Shan, since she's the only other female here, is for a man, uh, at what point do you feel a man is a leader? How do you know that your man is a leader or that he's leading?
Well, for me, all I can do is speak for me. I look at how a person shows up in their community, right? How people look at them. Are they do they respect him as a human, as a man? Um, if he's productive, I like productive men. Um, I like a man who's very caring. Not to the point where it's like feminine kind of caring, but just cares enough to take me in consideration. He's he shows his appreciation. So maybe I am cooking, but my dude walks in. He knows I like roses, so he brings me some. So it just he shows a little bit of appreciation in that type of way. How he treats his kid. I'm older, so I look at what kind of father he is to his child. Like, is he leading by example? Can I trust, if I close my eyes, can I trust him to not lead me astray? You know, do I trust his judgment? Has he lived a life in a way that I'm like, he's got some good sense. He's a decent. His character is on point. He moves in a legit way, a way that I can follow, and that to me is what I look for and how he can lead my household. Because when you think of a leader in my house, I think essentially I'm trying to find the CEO of my house, right? And even when you're trying to find a CEO of any company, you want to make sure that this person has certain type of qualities. You're not going to just choose anybody to manage your business, to manage your money or whatever. You're going to be real picky about it. And so that's the way that I look for my guy. I'm real picky about the guy who I decide to follow.
Yeah. That's like a chime in a little bit too from a man's perspective because um I mean some men got it and some men don't. I think that
Some men got it, some men don't.
yeah. So if it wasn't for my grandfather instilling some things in me, then I probably wouldn't be the man that I am today, or at least have an understanding of how to run a household. I think the older women get, you have to understand that they've been through a lot, and if they're single and not married, that they're going to be skeptical about any man that comes into their life. And so when you look, you gotta, if they're single and they've been single for a while, they've probably been leading themselves. So it's gonna probably take a certain type of man. And the reason why I say some men got it and some men don't is that you don't really have to say I'm a leader. I think that when the right woman comes across that man, then he just carries himself a certain type of way and has a certain type of energy about him that she just like follows up under his leadership because he just the way he has everything set up in his life, the way he comes in, the way he speaks, the way his tone, just everything about him just seems to be just a manly man, and she wouldn't try to pull anything. She wouldn't try to pull anything with him. So I think us as men, we just learn from an earlier age that we possess those qualities. And you really don't know like what you can really lead until you've been in some situations. Sometimes it's going to take some experience for you to be able to go through to really understand how to become a better leader. Because once you failed in certain areas, that's how you learn. Like when we come out, we don't really know anything, but if you have somebody that was guiding you and showing you what to do in certain situations and understand and instilling a certain type of mindset in you, then I think that you can adapt a little bit quicker. But people that's been handed things to them their entire life, they don't really understand what it means to really work to be able to get somewhere. Some people complain all the damn time. So you got somebody that's complaining, like they're not gonna really put the work. I don't complain too much. I mean, life is just gonna life. So as long as I wake up the next day I can correct whatever it is, whatever decision I made, I can correct it if it was the wrong decision. And I always try to do like calculated. I always try to do calculated decisions if I had time. Like some decisions need to be made just right away, and of course you go ahead and you respond that way. But most of the time, I slow everything down to a tempo where I can digest it a certain type of way to be able to to allow myself some time. I don't let nobody force me into making a decision that I need to make that I don't need to make right then and there. So I just think it's just comes with experience. It comes to your upbringing. It comes to the situation that you've been in. And some people just haven't gone through nothing. Some people always been chasing behind or looking for somebody that is doing looking for a woman that's better than them, and it's just going to be conflict. So I don't. I'm not intimidated by a woman. I'm not intimidated by a woman's success. I'm not intimidated by a woman, whatever she got going on, because I know that I have value, and I know whatever situation I get into that I'm going to be the one that just have value. Like it's either you with it or you not. So that's just my thoughts on it.
JR, I think you just made a good point. You said that you're not intimidated by women because you know you add value. And I'll throw this to both of you, both of the guys. Do you think that a lot of the the broken relationships and conflicts in relationships or between men and women comes from men who don't truly understand the value that they have? That's just something I've never thought about, and you brought it up, and I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of
Um,
sense to me.
I have some friends that really don't have anything that's going on for themselves. Where when they enter relationships, it's a little bit difficult for them because like they're they're self aware enough to understand that they're not going to be bringing anything. So they're looking for a woman that really has something else, that has something going on, so they can attach themselves to it. And anytime you have a man that's doing that, it's really not gonna work out for you because, like, she's gonna control everything because she knows you don't have that much, and so that's the reason why she chooses you. Like she got everything, and that's the reason why he chooses them. It's like two opposites coming together, like one need the other. But um, I don't think I think men do understand the value that they have, and I think that they get with people who they can attract or people who they qualify for. Um, I know someone, and I ain't gonna really say them who they are, but I know someone in my family that I knew that they was gonna marry somebody who they could be a little bit more dominant over, because a man that has something going on, he not gonna put up with what she had. She's not gonna put up with the attitude, the mindset, all that. I just knew it just wasn't gonna work. So she married someone that who she can be dominant over. And looking at him, meet him for the first time, I knew that he needed a stronger type of woman. Like he'll complain about her to everybody else because he's afraid to tell her about herself. But it's funny because we had these conversations all the time, and there's some truth to it. But every situation is different. It's just everything is always situational. So it may be some truth into the things we saying, but it may apply differently depending on um, whatever that relationship entails. But I do think a lot of men don't understand their value. A lot of men just not really getting to it, and so it's going to be difficult for them to date because they need a certain specific type of woman to be able to date. But somebody that does have something going on, they're not intimidated by a woman's success. Like they're not afraid to talk to any type of woman. And 9 times out of 10, you do have some stubborn women who are successful and they don't know how to build with somebody. But somebody that don't need a woman's money or need a woman that he just need her to do certain things, she's gonna recognize that energy and she's either gonna get with it or she's just not gonna be with him because he's just not gonna tolerate it.